Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, powerhouse kings and queens, I'm Super Goggins, I'm a frag freak, and welcome to my scene once more. Today I have for you a battle of the Neroli cheapos. Cheapies, rather than cheapos actually. Yes, cheapos, they're nothing but rabble from the street. So, I've got 3 fragrances for you, based on my recent discovery that I love Neroli. Back in 2015, when my fragrance journey began in earnest, I discovered through having discovered Jean-Paul Gaultier Fleur de Mal that I did love indeed Neroli fragrances. I didn't know it at the time, but it was through this fragrance that was made apparent to me. So this fragrance here is still my favourite ever fragrance. It is massively dear to me. Just truly divine. That bottle there is full, and it's not my only one. Now this fragrance is not in this battle, A, because it would win hands down, and B, because it is no longer a cheapie. Now, it wasn't even particularly a cheapie when I bought mine, but it was certainly a lot cheaper than it is now, if you get my drift. So that one is discounted from this, but that's where my the base of my Neroli love was formed, although I didn't even know it back then because I wasn't aware that's what was in it necessarily, or what it was that was drawing me to it. So, much as I love it, that is not in this one, but I just wanted to let you know that. So the three fragrances I do have for you at this stage in no particular order are Bright Neroli by Ferrari, Eau de Toilette Unisex, Emerge by Arlyn Paris. This is an eau de parfum, it's a men's eau de parfum, and by Perfume Parlour, Neroli's Portofino, which is a copy or a dupe of Tom Ford Neroli Portofino. But this costs £12 for 50ml, which is this much here, and Tom Ford Neroli Portofino will cost you anything up to £160 for 50ml, which is this much here. So, in terms of value, okay, so I shall begin with, I'll start with Emerge actually here. When I discovered this one completely randomly in a store near me called Beauty Base, which I do mention quite often because it's a very good shop, I sprayed some on a tester strip and I said to my fiancée, Debbie, that smells almost exactly like Dunhill Icon. Now, I don't know whether you can see the similarities between that bottle and the Dunhill Icon bottle, but the thing is other fragrances in this line, which smell completely different from this, have a very similar bottle to this. So I don't know whether that was the intention there, but the smell, at least on paper, I'll do a spray on paper here. Make sure I got the right one here, because I put, they're marked on here. When I sprayed it on paper, it smells almost identical to Dunhill Icon. All right, so bergamot, neroli, pepper, I think lavender, cardamom, vetiver, a few other things I'm not entirely sure, I don't remember, but that's what I'm getting from it. It's that structure of fragrance. Not the main thing that comes out of it is neroli, and then citruses. When I kept the piece of paper for this and brought it home, the smell of that stayed on there for days, and it stayed like that as well, but it doesn't do that on skin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you here what happens. I just dropped that on the floor, never mind. I have the dry down of this on this arm here, okay? I'm going to spray it freshly on my wrist just here. So I've got dry down here and I'm going to spray here. All right, ready? There we go. Now I'm going to come as close as I ever do to smelling this fresh off the spray, because this is pretty much what it smells like on paper, although it does already smell slightly different on skin. Again, neroli, citrus, some spices, some woodiness, a sort of vetiver woodiness, and a powderiness. Very, very nice. Dry and definitely very powdery. Okay, but now the first time I wore this,
within about an hour it changed to this smell here. Another time I wore it the other day, within about 20 minutes it had gone like this. And another time it stayed like this for about an hour and a half, maybe nearly 2 hours, and then went like this. But it always goes like this and then lasts for absolutely ages. The longevity is really very good on this, but it doesn't stay like the top end for very long at all.
When it dries down, now I got this off eBay, right? This is called ISO-E Super, an eau de parfum. It's just a generic thing called ISO-E Super that I got off eBay. I'll describe the smell to you. It's woody, it's airy, it's a bit waxy, it's a bit earthy, and it's also got a load of smells in there which are very difficult to describe. When I spray this on my skin, it smells... It's definitely got a scent character. It's not like the Emperor's New Clothes or a placebo effect fragrance. It definitely does have a smell, quite a strong smell, but it's quite difficult to describe. Woody and waxy and airy and earthy. I think I've already said it, that's cool. And it does last ages. What it's very good at is layering with things. It does smell nice on its own, and it does last for absolutely ages, that one. Okay, but the dry down of this here smells very similar to what this does for the duration of its life, this ISO-E Super, right? So it got me thinking, is there loads of this in this? Probably. So to cap, this one, it's nice, it's citrusy, it has neroli in it, it's a bit sweet but not too sweet, nowhere near as sweet as it was on the paper, and it dries down into what smells to me like ISO-E Super with a little hint of what it originally started out as. There we go. Emerge by Arlyn Paris, which in itself is by Bellevue Perfumes, and I've only just discovered them recently. Well worth looking into online. I'll link it below. Then I'll move on to Perfume Parlour Neroli's Portofino. Okay, it's spelt differently. You probably won't be able to see that. This is probably going to go out of focus, but I'll show you close and see what the camera does. I'm not entirely sure what that's done. It's the first time I've done that with my iPhone, but it is spelt differently, and it's by a company called Perfume Parlour. When I bought this, it came unboxed and stuff like that, but it's very, very nice and very, very cheap, okay? I'm going to spray this on here. It sprays a tiny amount per spray. The sprayer is infinitesimal. You need about 3 sprays to make... I'm saying that, it comes out in quite big droplets. It's not a very fine mist, so even though they're quite small sprays, quite a lot comes out, okay? But anyway. Now, it's beautiful. It's really... this, I have smelt Tom Ford's Neroli Portofino. I've worn it once or twice, but only as a test in a shop. You know, you try and put a proper sprayer in the shop, and you go tss, tss, and then the assistants start coming around you, and they're like, "Here, sir, would you like to?" And they're trying to do stuff with you, like, "Would you like to try this? Would you like to?" Well, what would you like to try this means, in shop assistant terms, is buy something or get out, doesn't it? You know, and they're like, so I managed to get 1 or 2 sprays of it. I can't do a side by side, obviously, but it does smell remarkably similar. It smells a bit different in the opening. It does smell a bit different in the opening. You may have seen that on other reviews and stuff like that. I'm not just copying it, I'm giving my own opinion here. When it starts drying down, it smells almost impossible to tell the difference. As far as I can tell, without doing a side by side, just by memory. The longevity is very, very good. Projection I will do later on, okay? So the smell to me, it smells of neroli first and foremost, obviously it's going to. Then I've got a load of citruses, a medley of citruses, all right? And to me it smells like orange and lemon and more orange and different kinds of orange and maybe a different lemon and some bergamot and some things that are pretending to be, and all kinds of citruses. There's loads of citruses in there, but it smells very juicy, whereas this one is dry and a bit smelling more like peel. This one smells kind of like juicy, really sweet and juicy. It smells very sweetened. I think there's amber in this. I think there's some floral, some jasmine kind of smell, some lavender. But it's very, very sweet and very, very citrusy, very, very juicy, topped off with Neroli, and I think it is sensationally beautiful. I really, really like this one. I'm getting better and better longevity out of it. Maybe, you know, it can be fatigue of the nose, olfactory fatigue, that's the one, and all kinds of things. What weather it is, how much you put on, where you put it on, what mood you're in, what's going on, blah, blah, blah. We all know about that stuff. This one is really, really beautiful. Okay, next one then is the Ferrari one. Okay, I'm going to spray this further up their arm so I don't get them contaminated with each other. The Ferrari one. The bottle, by the way, on the Ferrari one is beautiful. It's a really thick glass. It's got a lovely shape to it. And this lid thing, which is very firmly on there, not magnetic, but it may as well be because it doesn't go anywhere, and you can lift it up there and you can suspend your dwarf and stuff from there. And I think this thing here is actual leather. It's got like, it's almost like the gear stick or something, you know, of the car. In fact, that is definitely real leather on there. So it's a beautiful quality bottle. The scent, it's full of citruses again. Bergamot smelling heavy. Neroli, again, some lavender. There's a woody smell in there. Vetiver almost. Something spicy, it could be pepper, like something vaguely clove-like in there, but very in the background. The patchouli, which I remember being mentioned, and is definitely on the, I'm doing this without checking the notes as well, by the way.
Genius. Which
I have briefly, but the patchouli, which I know is in there, is kind of very, very faint for me. I can see that there's something making it slightly camphorous in the background. There's a green element in there, but that is really taking a back seat. For me, the citruses in this one are a lot more taut, almost not quite sour, but not as sweet, certainly, as in this one. It is, however, bright, crisp, energetic, full of life, and clean, a little bit soapy, as is this one. This one's a bit more soapy. I forgot to mention that one. This does have a very soapy element to it. This one, it's dignified and gentlemanly, although it is a unisex eau de toilette. So that's then briefly gone through. I would now like to introduce you to my zoopometer, which I'll just pop up here so you can have a look at it. All right, I'll pop it up there and I'll explain it to you briefly. Here we go. So at 0, we've got nothing because there's nothing there, right? At 1, we've got the void because we only know it's there because it's got a name. At 2, we've got fish tits because any fragrance that appears here is about as much use as tits on a fish. We've got 3, all mouth, because it walks the walk but doesn't talk the talk. At 4, we've got healthy fart, because although we do respect it for not smelling horrible, it's not very strong. At 5, we've got middleman, which needs no explanation, I hope. At 6, we've got psycho serenity, because it can be a bit crazy, but it can also be quite peaceful. And then at 7, we've got gentle giant, because it's big, but it's considerate, you know. And then we've got monster's apprentice at number 8, because it's in the footsteps to monster itself, and well on its way to the big time. Then we've got monster itself, and at number 10 we have beast, which again hopefully needs no explanation. That's the zoopometer. Okay, now do excuse me, I'm going to rate these in terms of, this time the zoopometer is going to have some progression and some evolution and stuff, as it were. I've just invented that, so you know, bear with me and we'll see how it goes. So in terms of projection on these ones, I'm going to rate them now. Okay, I'm going to put emerge at, ooh, no, that's the wrong one. Silly me. What am I doing? Dropping things now. Cut that bit. Edit. Right, let's get the right one out here. There we go. I'm going to put emerge. Excuse me. That bit doesn't exist, all right? Emerge at number 3 in terms of the placement, right? But it's going to go at 5, middleman. Yeah? Because it's in the middle in terms of projection. And that's what I think. That's what I've got from it so far. I could well overspray it, which I think I pretty much already did. But, you know, that's my impression of it so far. In second place, I'm going to put Ferrari Bright Neroli at Psycho Serenity, because I think it was quite subdued at times, and then other times, you know, in the sun or when you walk past someone or you catch a little whiff of yourself, you know when you catch a whiff of yourself, you know that other people can smell it, don't you? Do you know what I mean? Even when you've got a bit of, you think you can't smell things and then someone says, oh, that's nice, you know that, you know, you just can't smell it very well yourself. And this one I think can be a little bit both ways. Very strong and sometimes a bit more subdued. Then at number one for me of these ones, although I do go quite heavy on this, although what's new there? Number one is Perfume Parlour's Portofino, Neroli's Portofino, which I'm going to put at 7.5 between Monster's Apprentice and Gentle Giant. So it's a half a score up from either of those two. And that happens to be also my preference for these as well. This one is top of the tree at number one because I love it. I really think it's beautiful. It's nice and juicy. It's got that massive sort of citrusy element to it, but on top of it all the Neroli, which is my favourite aspect, and it's sweet as well, which I love. And then this one here, which is just refined and classy and possibly even a bit more complete and whole than this one, but it's just, I love that one there. But this one, it's a close thing between those two, to be quite honest, but it's just lacking that sweetness, which I really, really like. So that one goes in number two in terms of preference also. And then this one here has to be down in number three, although there's nothing wrong with it. And I should just at this point point out that this one, I don't like the lid on it very much. I know it's a cheap fragrance, but there's no excuse for this. Look, that, I know it doesn't have to be magnetic or anything, but for it to spin like that is a bit lame, isn't it? But I don't mind that the smell is lovely and it's very, very good indeed. That's about it. I hope this video wasn't too long. I don't know how long it's been because I've got no watch. I probably have to get a little watch here that I can, a little clock thing that I can watch so I know how long I've gone on for, and I can speed things up or slow things down a little bit depending on where I need to go. Once again, people, thank you very much for being with me. I'm Zoopy Goggins. I'm a fragrance freak, and it's been wonderful having you with me. Take care, all the best, and respect. And I'm getting back to my meditation and prayers. All right then. I have to pick this up so I don't trip over, because that wouldn't be fun. Oh,